Hello guys, and welcome to the Lienhart podcast. With me I have Curtis Luberts
So,
and Ian Clement. He's getting a drink right now. I don't actually know if he's sitting at his desk or not, but we have two topics, both of which are going to be recorded at separate times. We might have a second person, or a fourth person, sorry, for the second topic, but for this one we're just going to use the three of us.
Third, fourth, fifth, eighth.
I know, I already screwed up the numbers without you helping. So the first topic we have is gun laws in North America, being that, okay, who has the chips?
Curtis.
wait, sorry.
Someone has chips. Okay,
That was
you know, it's still fairly recently ago was the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting in the U.S., but will eventually this spread to Canada? Will gun laws eventually be like this in Canada? Like, I know they're trying to fix it in the U.S., but what do you guys think?
The gun laws are more in Canada, Josh.
Yeah,
There's more of them already.
yeah, but do you think
Yeah.
eventually that'll change?
No, because we can't regulate anything anymore. We've already regulated what can be regulated.
Well, Curtis hasn't said a single thing about this.
I'm just, I kind of have to agree with Ian. We can't really,
We can't predict what Canada's going to do.
I'm not the government. I'm more intelligent than them, so I can.
It's not hard to be more intelligent than the government. All you gotta do is tell the truth about things.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, the government likes to lie a lot.
Exactly, that's why I say it's not hard to be smarter than the government.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, and by the looks of it, there's, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 different licenses we require for a sidearm.
So that'd just be like a handgun.
Yeah, which include you need to have a license to own it, you need to have a license to be able to show it, you need a license to be able to have it loaded, you need to have a license to be able to shoot it, you need a license
America,
blah,
right?
blah, 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 blah. Where in America, it's like, howdy ho, I got a fucking gun.
Oh god.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to own a handgun in Canada.
Yeah, you are. It's
Really?
it's extremely licensed though.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost not even worth your time unless you're a historian and you're, putting it on the wall. It's because you need about 2 licenses for that.
Yeah, and you also have to
Lot
go
more
to school
licenses.
for it.
Unlike the US where you can just walk into a store, like, if you're a certain age and pick up one. Or
Well,
do you...
Josh, do you know what a flea market is?
Yes.
Yeah, they sell them at flea markets down there. You have a nice little stall, ranging from handguns to assault
Yeah,
rifles.
but if you also look at our safety to their safety,
America's not a good thing in general. All right.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Their economy's worse than just...
It's not a safe place at all.
No.
I'm saying it's not a safe place. It's just, it's an idiotic place that exists in our world.
Why did they make this gun law in the first place? Why would they have it so that anybody can get one?
Because their country was formed during a time of war. And what they meant by the right to bear arms means they have the right to have a gun, so when they're called upon by the militia to defend them against the British, you'd have a gun available to you.
I think currently we have bigger threats than the British defense.
I don't think the British are going to be attacking us anytime soon.
Well, I know, and it's just saying, like, it's, they're, I don't know. Like, honestly, I could see something like that at school happening again.
Oh yeah, it's going to keep happening until they do something about it.
Josh,
course it will.
nothing's going to happen because criminals don't obey the laws.
Yeah, obviously. The government will try to take the guns. They're not going to give them up.
They can't take the guns because there's this thing called the black market.
Exactly.
You can buy an AK-47 off the street of Texas for $200.
God.
I know.
I don't even want to think about that.
And then they complain. I'm like, yeah, okay, have fun with that.
They should have followed Canada in how we did it in the first
But
place.
I'll have you note that what was it, Sandy Brook? Or
Sandy Brooks Elementary, yes.
Yeah, it was a bandwagon.
A bandwagon.
You don't hear anyone talking about it anymore now, do you?
It's just like Coney.
Associated with the gun laws. Coney was a joke.
That guy. Yeah. It's pretty much the exact same theory of the bandwagon, though. If someone creates a good story over it, and everyone jumps on.
No one cares now. I mean, same thing with Syria.
Yeah.
Guys, people care.
No, they don't. If people
The people who died have families, and those people care.
Those people care. Those 23?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they have at least 10 groups of families.
And the news is like, oh man, this is terrible. Oh hey, what's this?
That's the news. The news has always been stupid.
But people wouldn't know about the massacre without the news. And the news only reports things that's interesting to them.
Yeah.
Which means that...
That's why they show pictures of sunsets in the...
You wanna know how bad the media is in the States? They allow Fox News to still exist.
Yeah, well...
Oh, yeah.
He's god-awful. And whatever her name is, I forget her name.
Oh! I know who you're talking about.
She insulted Canada. And she said that we're lucky that the United States doesn't roll over and conquer us. And then, when we were interviewing her about that in Canada with one of our CBC reporters, she said that Canada sent troops to Vietnam.
I remember that, yep.
And then she tried to tell a Canadian who probably studied in history, no, he's wrong, we sent troops to Vietnam.
I remember, actually, I just watched that a little while ago.
And that's what I don't like about the States. The people, they're great people. I have grandparents that live there. I have nothing against the people. What I have against is somehow the fact that the stupid ones, the ones that like that, who are just arrogant and paint the picture of a bad country for the rest of the Americans, get on like news channels and in Congress and stuff.
Well, they have the money, so you know what?
Yeah, and there's another problem.
It's your typical capitalist society.
Yeah, and all the Republicans, the Southern Republicans, like Texas, Louisiana, all that, they're not going, they will not take away their gun rights.
Oh god, no. That's where you hear about, like...
They go to war like they did for the slavery. No doubt about it.
That's a good comparison.
Well, the slavery, they thought that was their rights, and what the Confederates were fighting for was their independence and their, well, not independence, but their freedom of rights, and they wanted to uphold the rights, and they felt like the Union was trying to take them away. It's the same thing with the gun laws. Like, you go down to southern states, my grandparents, they live in southern Kentucky, everyone has a gun.
Well,
you know the Hatfields and McCoys?
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandparents live 2 counties away from where that happened in Pike County, Kentucky.
Wow.
Okay.
They're still fighting to this day. Like,
well, the problem is America started off with a lot of the ability to give everyone guns. So they can't change that now because they're home of the free, so they have to give everything.
Yeah. The other thing is America started off as the colonies of the unwanted in Britain. If you were a lower class society, criminal or anything, let's just send you across the world.
And that's how we populated us.
What?
That's how we populated this place. It was important.
That was the American, like the Americas, the United States of America.
Yeah.
Canada was more farmers and immigrants coming over because there's a bunch of land.
Pretty much.
But, was it 13 colonies? I don't know, the original?
Oh, I don't know.
13. They were all basically penal colonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means that when you base that as a country, obviously you're going to want to keep your guns in there to defend your rights, because you don't know if the British are just going to come marching back over sometime and try and take you over again. But they didn't get rid of that, right to bear arms. And now people walking around town, guns.
Yeah, it's a long problem in the making.
And then they try and blame it on, mental disorders, drugs, and stuff, when blatantly, what they don't want people to realize is this guy, he could have been normal for all we know, and, I'll just go shoot up a school.
I think the only problem he had is a bad case of American patrioticism. but the gun laws is just... I'm not saying it's better to
shoot
hold
up
back guns.
Full of Chinese people or Indian people. He shot a school of varying race.
A public school.
Patriotic.
Well, I can't control who he shoots, so I have no clue what's going through his head.
I can just complain about who he shoots.
But yeah, it's almost as bad as the Westboro Baptist Church.
I can't tell you. I can't say I know that one.
You don't know who the Westboro Baptist Church is?
No, I don't.
Only in the States I do.
Yeah, well, Josh, I'll just let you know, I'm pretty sure it's illegal for them to come to Canada. Or any other country.
Oh god.
Yeah, they're essentially worse than the KKK.
Wait, I have a question.
What?
Does Cuba have the same amount of gun laws as America?
Cuba? I have no idea. I think they're still communist.
Yeah, they are communist yet.
Yeah, so they probably have less gun laws.
Okay, I was just wondering because if...
You don't hear anything there, though.
Yeah.
Well, because no one cares.
Yeah, but... If there was like a mass shooting, we would hear about it, right?
Like, from Cuba?
No, because America controls much of our media, really. So the U.S. and Cuba don't really get along. They're not going to want to...
You know what I didn't like how they wasted my time with was that band in Russia called Pussy Riot.
What?
You didn't hear about that?
No, I did not hear that.
There was this ceremony, I think, or they just did it. I forget. Russia's Orthodox, I think? No, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, they were in one of their churches, or monasteries or whatever, and Pussy Riot was a female band, and they came and started dancing around the place, which was seen as like you're violating the religious ground or whatever. So they got 2 years in jail. And
that's right.
And then suddenly everyone across the world's like, oh man, this isn't right. You need to free these people. I'm like, you guys can shut the hell up, because you probably wouldn't even have heard these people unless they got in jail. Another bandwagon, you know? It's just, yeah, like, I don't know. What the news basically is now is bandwagons. And you guys heard about the whole they shouldn't be saying the shooter's name on the news, right? Because that promotes other people to do shootings.
How does that even make sense?
Well, apparently there's a shooting in California.
Well, it reminds me of the one TV show that it's like the serial killer with a following. It could cause people to follow them. But
yeah, you know, oh man, this guy did this. Why can't I do it?
This guy went and shot up a school and killed himself. I want to do the same thing.
But then, also, why would they put that on the TV if it's so bad? It's like, are you just asking people to go and shoot people? Is that what you're trying to do?
Be surprised.
I don't know. America's a place of many things. Sensible solution.
I'm actually looking at this firearms law website right now. It says the United States is ranked #1 for civilian gun ownership, 88.8 firearms for every 100 people.
Oh my goodness.
Australia is 15 of 100 Australians own a firearm. Germany is 30 out of 100. UK 6.72 per 100, and Japan is 0.6 for every 100 people. US is 88.
Yeah, I know.
That's showing it right there.
And that pisses me off when people come in Canada and they're like, suddenly Canadians are like, man, we need to up our, you know, firearm regulation laws.
Why?
No, we don't. That's a waste of money. It's a complete waste of money, because you're going to go through all this only to find out we already have these things regulated.
If you want a gun so bad, go take all the licenses. There you go.
No, see, Josh, in Canada, no matter what size magazine, like you can have a 30-round magazine to up, like, it doesn't matter. We cap it to 10 bullets per magazine. You cannot have any more than that. No, sorry, not 10, 5. 5 for rifles, 10 for handguns, and I believe 3 for shotguns. That is the maximum amount of ammunition you can have in the magazine, or in the gun at any time. And that's when you're hunting.
Yeah, and then we have a bunch of hunting problems.
Actually,
and then people in Canada worry about someone walking around shooting up schools. I'm like, yeah, is he going to haul 50 magazines with him? No.
No.
Actually, I have a question.
It only happens in the States because they have no regulation whatsoever.
Gun
you
shows?
with the box magazine.
Yeah.
Can I ask my question quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does it require the same amount of licensing to use a hunting rifle as it does to use a regular sidearm?
No, sidearms are much more regulated because they're much easily concealed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same
There's-
with like
There's two
butterfly
licenses.
knives.
I believe there's 2 licenses for hunting rifles and such. 1 to own it, and 2 to use it.
Okay. So it's much different.
And there's 2 tests. There are 2 individual tests you need to take.
You're not going to be able to do as much with a rifle either.
And they cost a lot of money too.
Because most hunting rifles in Canada that are sold are bolt action.
So you're not really going to be able to shoot up a school very well.
What?
You're not going to be able to shoot up a school very well with a rifle compared to...
But we have works. You don't hear about shootings all the time.
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean, there have been shootings.
Yeah.
But those, I'm pretty sure those weapons, you know, they have been tampered with.
Oh, yeah.
And you were able to load more than, you know, the 5 bullets per magazine. Sort of
Really,
thing.
if someone's planning on doing it, you're not really going to stop them if they get all the
You can't
licenses.
stop someone from doing something they want to do.
Yeah. And then, you know, people are talking about police and their handguns and stuff. I'm like,
It's a cop.
well, see, the argument's made that they don't necessarily have to have them, just because if you look at Britain, their police officers aren't issued with handguns.
Yeah, they also have, like, what did I just say? Like, 6.72 handguns per 100 people?
Yeah, they have batons and maybe tasers, but the thing is, in Britain, their police are much more respected than here in
Oh,
North.
God, yeah.
Yeah, because all of our people are fat.
If North America, the guy on there's a cop on the side of the road, and he or she's waving people over because they're speeding to give them a ticket, you're not going to pull over for them in this here. But in Britain, they do pull over for them.
Yeah, and when you watch TV, when you see a British cop, you usually see the redcoats there, who people are usually fairly scared of, and here you see some overweight cop sitting in his car eating a donut.
Those guys are the Queen's Guard.
I don't know. Their cops are always look more professional than the ones you see as like American, Canadian cops on TV.
Yeah.
It's all how the media portrays them.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So do you say this entire gun law goes down to the media, or would you say that it's the government?
It's the media. The media controls like everything.
The media is just bull.
Because
No, I don't watch the news anymore because I turn on the news, and these stations are saying Canadian news stations, and all I get is stuff about America. You know, I don't know nothing about Canada anymore.
except for like
Because they want you to hear about the world's
That's
superpower.
tomato plant.
The presidential elections, nothing was being reported in Canada except the weather. It was all this crap about the American election. We had the news channels were going down to Washington, Ontario, or whatever, wherever the town of Washington, Canada is, and they're handing out polls to people of who they'd vote for, Barack or Romney.
Why?
No one would care because we're Canadian.
Well, actually, the sad part is that we do care. More Canadians watch the American election than watch the Canadian.
Yeah.
There's no reason. The American election takes more than a year.
And we always complain about it when it's done.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I mean, and ours, I don't even know what happened to our government. I mean, when the NDP, Jack Layton was alive, they formed the coalition, and I think we had four elections. I'm not sure for Prime Minister or not, but it was 4 major elections within 7 years. That's 2 more than necessary.
Mm-hmm. What is the usual term? Isn't it like 1 for 4? 1 election for 4 years?
It's every 4 years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Which means 2 of those were unnecessary, not needing to be paid elections. It's a waste of money. And the problem is with our government is it's all old men. I mean, we're probably going to get more people in on it now that the Bloc Québécois are out of the picture. You know, thank God for that. Well, I don't even know how they were a party. All they were doing was proposing stuff that benefited Quebec.
It's just the same. Since we have the freedom to do pretty much most things, you can make a party about whatever you want, just like how there's a marijuana party.
Curtis, yeah, and there's that. There's a communist party too, but the Bloc Québécois wanted to become prime minister. Like they wanted
Prime Minister, like group leader, so they could get rid of Quebec. Yeah, it's
and then while Prime Minister would somehow try and get Quebec to be its own nation, but you couldn't do that due to the fact that the province you are representing, you are in charge of a country, and you can't be outside of that country running a different country.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And even if they did that, we would stop them from doing that.
Yeah, it would just not go through, and there'd be so many problems.
And
especially with guns.
Solve those problems, we just deport their dumbasses back to France, a French-speaking nation.
The French don't want them back.
That's why they're here.
And we send them up to some island in Nunavut. Make that their country.
We don't want to ruin none of it.
It wouldn't ruin none of it.
It's pretty up there.
I'm just like, I hate the separatists in Quebec. They're just, they're so bad.
Quebec in itself isn't bad. I mean, it's still it's another province of Canada.
Quebec's the most corrupt province in Canada.
Well, see, I heard Ontario was.
No,
No,
Quebec is very bad.
Yeah.
It's Ontario and Quebec are both number 1 and 2, though, right?
No, Ontario is pretty good at it. Because Ontario...
we're talking about financially, though, right?
What?
Or how are we? What are we talking about? Corrupt.
Corrupt meaning, you know, there's bogus people, underpayments, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Quebec, Josh.
I thought you were talking about like they're corrupt financially.
No,
that's everywhere.
Probably up there just because we have the highest population.
Oh God, yeah.
Province.
Yeah, we have like 13 million of the 30.
Quebec, like, it's, I don't know, the separatists don't realize that there's this place called France, which is a French-speaking nation. Instead of ruining our lives, they could just move back if they really wanted to France. And then you get their premier, Pauline Marquois, or whatever her name is, you know, having her bills saying that she's going to abolish all religious wear in the workplace except the Christian cross. She's going to pass laws where if you have a business of either over 11 or under 11, that you must have French mandated, like the French language mandated. That's going to make a lot of American businesses pull out because, one,
they don't speak French.
More, and two, their second language is Spanish, not French. And then the whole religious thing is, there's this thing called the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which means you have the right to express your religion, and she can't go and do that. But Quebec feels like it's special because, you know, it's got its own charter. Because we're trying to make them happy.
Can I just interject here?
Yeah.
We're not talking about politics right now. Well, we are, but we're talking about gun laws.
I honestly... I don't know how we do this.
You know what America's actually doing with most of their guns now?
What's that?
They're throwing it in the Syrian crisis. That's their solution. They're just going to throw guns in there and see who wins. So really, they don't have to worry about gun laws. They're just giving them all to the Syrians.
Well, what else are we gonna do with them? Shoot each other? We don't want to do that. We're too important.
You could smelt them down and use their metals for constructive purposes?
No, that's far too intelligent.
For the States, yeah?
But it was kind of funny, after the shooting in whatever place that was.
Cindy Brook,
yeah.
Kind of funny after that shit. Alright, continue.
How about you continue before this gets awkward?
Let me continue. they canceled a bunch of gun shows because they think it would be a bad time to have gun shows for that. And it's like, but they have nothing to do with it. It was that one person who did one thing that no one else could change. And then it's like, oh, we don't want to be mean. You're doing your job. It's like being a cop and arresting people for speeding. It's your job to do this. It's just, I find it stupid how they canceled some of them.
What they really should have done is just, you know, booted the Westboro Baptist Church out of there.
Right. I think I'm starting to understand what you mean by
Josh,
that.
you know what the Westboro Baptist Church did?
What?
They picketed at the funeral of the children, saying that...
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure it was saying that it was God's will for them to die and stuff like that. And they do it when soldiers return home from, like, I guess not Iraq anymore, but Afghanistan. They'll picket the soldiers' funerals, and they call soldiers gay and faggots, and they deserve to go in hell and stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're that bad. Like...
They try to think of themselves as religious and then say that.
No, they're actually... People are pushing to define them as a hate group.
Yeah, exactly, that's what they are.
Yeah, they are. I know. But, yeah. So they're going to be up there with, you know, the KKK and the Muslims.
Okay, the Muslims aren't that bad.
Or just the Muslims bad. The Muslims are very bad. I am sorry. I don't mean to offend anyone, but they are bad. Alright? They move... You know how they don't get along with anyone, right? And I'm pretty sure it's either the Israelis or the Muslim countries around them that in their religious texts say you must join with their religion or die. I know there's probably a lot of other stuff, and I'm just going straight to the point there. But one of those two, or I don't know which one, is full of hate. And then they're not happy in their own countries, right? So they move to our countries and then try and get us to enact religious Muslim laws that they weren't happy with in their own countries, essentially trying to turn our country into theirs.
Well, when you've lived with something for so long, it's hard to go without it. And
yeah, but you chose to move to our country. It's a big thing in Britain right now, Curtis. I'm pretty sure they've had some, like, protests and stuff about how the Muslims being, I believe, in the either the 4th or higher than that, in the top 4 most populated religions in Britain. The Muslims want to have their own religious laws and state there. And I'm saying no, because you moved here. If you want to have your religious laws that you chose the left, move back.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
we can't have things like this. We're always pushovers. I mean, especially when it comes to white people. Like, we are the... You know how we're always blamed for slavery and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was Africans enslaved Africans. And
that's how it all started.
The Middle East was even worse than we were for slavery. You know why you don't see a lot of black people in the Middle East? Because they made all the black males eunuchs. They castrated them all so they couldn't breed. We didn't do that.
I hope not. That would be very painful.
And we were the ones that get blamed for it. And then, you know how you walk, there's the, you know, black pride groups and I'm proud to be Chinese, Muslim, whatever. We can't do that. We're associated with the KKK when we say we're proud to be white. And,
well, yeah.
And then when the Muslims come over and demand all this, I'm saying, the hell with you. No, you move to my country and then demand we change to be in your way? No.
Yeah, and
that's why they're bad.
We can't stop them either because...
I know we can't stop them. We can choose to ignore them.
Yeah, we can ignore anything.
And that's what's to do with the gun laws too. They just need to ignore all these people complaining. In Canada. I don't... Yeah, like, the States is a hopeless situation because it's in their it's like, it is one of their fundamental rights in the States. It's going to be a hopeless situation until, you know, someone burns all copies of their original constitution there and no one remembers why, because they always had to read scriptures from it, and then no one will realize there was a right to bear arms, and then they'll fix it. Until something extreme happens like that, it's a hopeless situation in the States. But in Canada, we just need to ignore it. Our government needs to man up for once and not be pushed around by a minority group that negatively affects the majority of Canadians.
It really sucks to be like the head of state and the president and the prime minister and all that, because you have to go with those bandwagon things, otherwise the general populace gets really annoyed with you and you won't get voted back in office again.
That's the problem with the democratic society.
Yeah. It's just
Problem
the way
with our society is we're too influenced by pointless things.
Yeah.
YOLO and swag? Like, what the hell is that? Alright? Why are people basing their lives off of you only live once and swag? You're going to need more than swag to get a job. Alright?
You can't walk into a store wearing a hat and some fancy jacket and just get
some low run pants, yeah.
Well,
there you go. Have fun being a cashier.
Never get a job that's worth having wearing a snapback, a t-shirt, and laying your pants halfway down your ass into a job interview. And that's what they call swag. And YOLO is idiotic beyond all belief.
What does your autocorrect come up with when you type it in?
You fucking morons. And I, like, it's, they're, like, this one, I read this one thing, Josh. This girl graduated university, right?
Yes.
But then she heard of YOLO, so you know what she decided to do?
What?
I believe she decided to sniff cocaine and go out. I'm pretty sure she stole her dad's Porsche, crashed it, and became a splatter of red across the tarmac on a highway.
I did hear about that.
Because of YOLO. I'm sorry, but if you're basing your life off of YOLO, like, you may as well go kill yourself, because you only live once.
Why
You gotta
don't,
try everything.
why don't end your first life while you're only living once? While you're enjoying yourself, while you're doing whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish.
What makes me really worried is these people are going to be the next generation of voters.
Oh god.
If they even know how to vote.
No.
What are they gonna put for the prime minister? You only live once?
Darth Vader.
That's a real person, didn't you know?
Oh yeah, totally.
But I feel like that's a flaw in the American system.
Oh god, yeah.
It's
They,
just
they only really have the Democrats and the Republicans, whereas we have, on average, 4 or 5 parties.
Yeah.
They
The
don't
Americans,
have a
they
parent opinion.
it's like the Americans have to choose between 2 sets of beliefs, where Canadians can choose from NDP, conservative, liberal, whatever other ones used to be here.
There's the Green Party still around.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's the 4 really. The Green Party's taken over for the Bloc Quebec law.
Can I make a point?
Yes, Curtis.
The world usually complains about us being like desensitized to things now, like war and death and stuff like that. But really, I think we've become sensitive to the wrong things. Like we care about stupid things.
Well, I was reading today, you'll never be able to make a Mel Brooks movie again.
Why not?
You'll offend too many people.
Yeah.
You don't can take a joke anymore.
No. And people become way too sensitive to it. It's just, I'm not saying, you know, slavery was a good thing, but back then, people weren't sensitive and we got a lot more things done.
You didn't have to pass it through all these different theorists.
Yeah.
You didn't have to make sure everything was okayed by every single religious group, belief, whatever that existed.
Well, we kind of started doing that when we formed Israel. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that?
No.
I'll let you explain it.
You know the Holocaust, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hoping you do.
I don't know anyone who wouldn't.
We felt bad for those Jews. So their religious land was the started with an S. I can't remember it now, but it was in the Bible, and that's where Joshua led them. And it's where they went. Was it okay? Moses and Joshua.
Which one?
Because Moses was the leader and Joshua was sort of the military, but It's the Canaan. It was Canaan. That's their promised land, Canaan. That's where they went to after they left Egypt, because that's where God said this is where your people are supposed to live, I believe, which is where Israel is today. So we took that. We took them from Germany, which we shouldn't have, because we got rid of the people killing them. We should have just, you know, let them. I know it might have been traumatic, sorry, but we didn't give the black slaves half of South America. It's not South America, half of Southern America after that, and that was pretty traumatic for them. So what we did was we took those Jews,
and it was happening a lot longer to the blacks than it was to the...
Yeah,
oh yeah.
And then we formed the Jewish country of Israel, where Palestine used to be. And that's what the whole Gaza Strip is about. The Palestinians aren't happy at the fact that the Israelis took over their land. But
that's just like the Aboriginal peoples. We just came in and
but
enslaved them and
here's the best part. We took the Jews and put them and surrounded them with Muslims.
Yeah, it was a
That's the
idea.
stupidest thing you can do.
Now see, though, the British did work out a deal that people would have been happy with at a certain time, but then America came in and it's like, no, this is how it should be. And then, you know, they changed the borders around, and people are like, what the hell? And the Jews and the Muslims are like, man, we hate each other. Let's just fight all the time.
2020 hindsight there.
And we did that because we felt bad for the Jews. I know, yes, the Holocaust was terrible, but that doesn't mean you take a bunch of Jews, throw them down in the Middle East around Muslims, and cause even more conflict. All because people wanted that to happen.
If anything, give them part of Russia. It's giant anyway.
I wouldn't give them part of Russia, because that would be bad too. I'm saying they were German. Let them stay in Germany.
I mean, the war was over by that point.
Yeah, there were no more Nazis around. Well, there was no more Nazis in power around.
Yeah.
So, and we did that because of the outcry, like the Jews have been wronged, we need to compensate them for something, which is what we do now for every single religious thing. We don't want to deal with religion anymore. Nothing. Religion is such a touchy subject.
It's kind of
like, we don't mean to sound racist or anything, but
what reality is, our governments around the world just need to grow a pair and say, fuck you. Alright? It's the same thing with environmentalists. You know, you have got a company, and the government will force them to be as green as possible. But if 12 environmentalists are saying no to a certain part of a forest that will be cut down to get, say, $12 billion of assets from that area that might pull a country out of an economic default, you're going to have to sacrifice a forest to save, say, 33 million people like in Canada and the oil sands. We have to make sacrifices because those very people, those very environmentalists and others are making these companies have to expand.
Yeah, but also...
And then they want to go and contradict this and cause conflict, and we must somehow listen to this. And no one wants to, no one wants to upset people and get a bad image.
Yeah, it's hard to choose the lesser of two evils.
The fact that you can't have everyone happy, which is exactly what the conservatives are doing at the moment, because they've made the economy good, they've kept the interest rate down, but they've driven our debt through the roof because everyone says there's no interest on stuff, let's just go buy things with our fancy dancy credit cards. But once the conservatives get out of, if they make the next election or not, the rates are going to go up. The Bank of Canada is trying its hardest to keep it down low right now, but it's going to go up.
They need to be smarter financially now.
Well, no, the thing is, we should get rid of credit cards.
Oh, that's what's making all the debt. People think that they can just spend all they want and then pay off credit cards with another credit card and pay that one off with that one. But it's just going to build up.
There should be no credit cards allowed ever. That was the worst idea in the history of currency. let's just give people cards that have a magical limit of, say, $1,000, which they do not have. Let them spend it, and then wonder why so many people are in a debt. They're spending the money because they think they have it. Whereas if you made people pay with their own money straight out of their pocket, they'd be much smarter, because then they'd go, oh yeah, let's buy a $500 TV. Oh, what's this? I no longer have food for the next 2.5 weeks. I wonder why. Whereas with the credit card, they could go, oh, 500 there, and then they pay for food, and now they have even more debt.
Oh, and best part yet is media. The media is able to even get into there and make reality shows out of people being in debt.
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Have you not seen those shows where they take people that are in debt and then try to help them get out?
I've not watched TV in a long time.
No, I haven't watched it either. I just remember that show. It's been on for years.
Shows like Jersey Shore.
Oh, don't even.
Thank God got canceled. There are shows like you described.
What got canceled?
Yeah. There's the news, which is not the news anymore.
It depends what you're watching, really. If you're watching like local news.
Shows about 16-year-olds being pregnant.
Oh, great! Don't you love that?
That's.
Oh yeah.
Shows about rich kids being spoiled. There's shows about
Disney Channel.
Like idiots to get attention. Disney Channel. You know, it's stupid ass stuff on TV now. I mean, hell, the History Channel's not even History Channel anymore. It's just ancient aliens, swamp people and stuff. It's not history.
It's not. You're not learning about wars. You're not learning about how the people built a nation. You're not learning about that.
No, you're not.
You're learning about things that do or do not exist.
Yeah.
Why don't they just make a myth channel? Put that crap on there. Give us back history.
Guys.
What?
It's 11:30.
Yeah.
We've gone completely off track from what we were talking about.
Well, to be honest, the gun control topic wasn't a really good topic.
No, it's pretty much the government, and then the government you can go off on anything with.
You guys want to know what I was saying about the U.S. government?
Oh, sure. Might as well.
You guys know how pro is the opposite of con?
Yep.
Would Congress not then be the opposite of progress?
Never even thought of that.
No, the Congress has actually fought a lot for the American people, but, you know...
Yeah.
Especially with that whole bank situation back in 2008. Where the banks essentially took over the country.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's that. I don't know. I hate the Canadian government too.
Yeah.
They're just as
Isn't a group of monkeys called a congress?
What?
Yeah. A group of monkeys. It's called a congress.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. No, but our government is just as bad.
It's stupid.
Like, you know what they're doing with the teachers, right?
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. That's our topic for next.
They tried doing that in BC already. That didn't work out for them at all. It cost BC $100 million to take it to Superior Court, only to have it turned down because it violated the teachers' constitutional rights. And now they want to also cut police officers, firemen, and everyone else under the union. Social workers. They want to cut every social worker category there is, except the government, which is classified as social workers. They won't touch themselves.
I'm glad they don't.
Why?
Uh,
It's just the way you said that. It's okay. Just continue.
Why? No.
Actually, no.
They need to touch
Try
themselves.
to,
No, don't continue. Seriously. Unlike regular people, I sleep at a regular time, and 11:30 is not a regular time for me.
You mean?
Like, we need to wrap this up.
yeah. Well, can you?
You can go.
I can leave if you guys continue.
Leave, Curtis.
Actually, we can end it there, and we can continue it. We can do the whole next topic for another hour tomorrow.
You're so mean to me, Ian.
This one alone. This one.
Loves you, Curtis.
Literally, I'm looking at the recording right now for this podcast.
That's
It's
so mean.
Curtis, do you even lift?
Yeah, lift.
I don't believe you. Fight me IRL.
What's an IRL?
In real life, Josh.
Well, the fact that you're using computer terms to describe real life is the worst part. The
No.
internet. Keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the first part of our podcast. We're gonna record the next part tomorrow.
It's a stereotype.
Who's a stereotype now?
Okay. Oh dear.
What, people who say bro? Same people who say swag and yo.
No,
Not
YOLO.
Bro.
YOLO.
Bro.
I'm gonna go to sleep for the night. YOLO.
That's not a basis.
It's just like taking pictures of my food and posting it on Instagram.
YOLO. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed it.
No,
And
before we go,
oh, god damn it.
Facebook needs a dislike button. I'll say
Okay.
that
Yes. Yes.
I think
100%
yeah.
Behind that.
right now. Facebook needs a dislike button. Because then all
100%.
those people are like if you love Jesus, scroll if you worship the devil. You dislike that shit, they'll have no idea what to do. What? Because those idiots don't know how to, you know, crop an image.
Yeah. Well, some people need to keep their opinions to themselves.
I feel like you're implying something here, Curtis.
No, I was implying it somewhat to you and to them, so it's all good.
I knew it.
Anyway, wrapping it up,
Yep.
Josh.
I hope you guys enjoyed this first part of the podcast. I'll edit both of them together, so it'll be like an hour and a half long. I don't know, this one's been almost an hour alone itself. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and the next part will be up with the same video.
You're a thunder cunting douche canoe, Curtis.